I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever.
The Streamer of the Year award goes to I Chose Speed.
Streamer of the Year. This award, there's more to come.
As of today, OpenAI has become a leading force in artificial general intelligence, eclipsing our rivals in groundbreaking advancements.
250 million Americans are not garbage.
You will not take this man down.
Proudly changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
You have to force behaviors. And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team.
Most people think power is obvious, that it's the people in the spotlight, the ones with titles, money or status. But they're wrong. Imagine having the status of a pilot, the respect of a doctor and the authority of a lawyer, without even having a single degree. Frank Abagnale, the man behind Catch Me If You Can, did exactly that. He faked authority and people naturally followed. They didn't follow real power, they followed its appearance. That's what most people never understand. And that's only the surface. Real power runs deeper. It has levels, and in this video we're going to explore them. Some visible and obvious, but others stay invisible, quietly pulling the strings beneath everything you see. Most people never notice it, yet they respond to it every day. If you strip away wealth, politics and status, what's left? It's the raw loss of primal fear and violence. Imagine a prison yard. Who's in charge if there's no title to hide behind? In this microcosm, the man who controls others uses fists, knives and threats to violence to exercise power. Any reputation and network comes after that. Controlling fear is the foundation of power. Take Mike Tyson and Jon Jones, being the baddest men on the planet in their primes, yet both admitting how scared they were before fights. If raw physical dominance is so powerful, why is it just level 1? Simple, we have guns. Execution alone isn't enough anymore. At this base level, power is rooted in dominance of physicality and the ability to use and control our most primal emotion, fear. Seriously? Goofy dancers, wannabe life coaches, gamers yelling at screens sounds ridiculous when we're talking about power. But here's the thing, almost half of all consumers, 49%, make daily, weekly or monthly purchases because of influencer posts. And there's a reason they're called influencers, not experts, not authorities. Influencing itself is their currency. In fact, 63% of consumers trust what influencers say about brands more than the brand's own advertisements. And the scary part, it's not talent or knowledge, it's about shaping what people see, pay attention to, think and do. Their power lies in how far their presence spreads. From the memes we share to the expectations we have to the debates we fight over. And the things we consume, they shape the mood of society itself, silently steering the culture we live in. Big tech doesn't just influence the world, it rewrites the rules of power, often beyond the reach of governments. From recent studies, we know that just a few seconds on social media can change what you think, feel, and even how you vote, all without you realizing it. Algorithms decide what you see, amplifying some voices while hiding others. Subtly, they shape trends and form opinions. Every era has a dominant force. Ours is the data and attention era. Data is the real power. At the top sit the tech and social media titans, the companies that quietly control the channels of information and shape culture, politics, and conflicts. Globally, China's Tencent plays a similar role in shaping information and attention. In 2018, Mark Zuckerberg was grilled over Facebook's handling of user data and privacy.
A very common misperception about Facebook that we sell data to advertisers.
Just 2 years later, the CEOs of Amazon, Google, and Apple also faced US legislators, all accused of holding too much power and crushing competition through monopolies. Most services you use today started as independent companies, eventually acquired by the tech giants. In 2006, Google bought the platform you're watching this video on. for $1.65 billion in stock.
Google is grabbing headlines once again today with its $1.65 billion U.S. buy-up of YouTube, which is, of course, that popular video sharing website.
In 2011, they acquired Motorola for $12.5 billion. So how do you compete with Google? You don't, at least not for long. Build a promising product and Google will either copy it or acquire it. Their secret weapon? Mergers and acquisitions. Their massive cash reserves, global brand, and the ability to attract top talent make this pretty much unstoppable. Anything promising gets diligently studied, targeted, and integrated. Most households would collapse if Amazon service went down. Their AWS cloud quietly powers services used by over 5 billion people worldwide. Electricity and internet access are essential. Amazon, Microsoft, and Google control the nerve system of the internet itself, with Amazon leading the pack. Running these companies isn't easy. CEOs like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg handle immense pressure, drive relentless growth, and sustain their dominance for decades, a feat few could manage. You work behind the scenes, you don't need an audience. In recent years, these companies gain a reputation as the shadow government, mysterious entities supposedly steering official governments, the dark elite of trillion-dollar asset managers. Well, human beings are fascinated by the unknown and the powerful, but in reality, these firms operate pragmatically. Take BlackRock. It manages around $12.5 trillion in assets, led by Larry Fink, highly connected to the major banks and government officials. Despite being publicly listed, we simply don't know much about how they run their operations, and that secrecy is intentional. One of its biggest advantages is technology. BlackRock's Aladdin, a portfolio management supercomputer. And here's the thing, Aladdin isn't just for internal use. It's licensed out to pension funds, insurance companies, and other investment firms worldwide. In 2008, when toxic mortgage-backed securities were crashing the entire financial system,
I think this is the most significant financial crisis in the post-war period.
Aladdin helped the government untangle the mess. Even when you think BlackRock isn't in control, it's quietly shaping economies and the financial decisions of countless institutions. That gives BlackRock power far beyond its own balance sheet. And BlackRock is just the most standout example. There's also Vanguard, Fidelity, and other trillion-dollar asset managers who hold massive stakes in companies around the world. We don't even know their competitive edges, yet they affect economy and jobs on a scale most people never notice. The real power at this level isn't flashy. Cool or flexing have no role here. True power is obsessed with protection. Once you understand how much power you hold, your main concern is keeping it at all costs. That paranoia of losing even a fraction of it will make you hire lawyers and bodyguards, build isolated facilities shielding your operations from the public, establish a secret service of your own, and hire PR experts to selectively spread misinformation. The dark reality. We're gonna jump right into level 5, but before that, let's look at a real-life example of how destructive power unfolds when multiple layers cross. It's the 1930s, and we're looking at Germany in one of Europe's darkest hours. The regime's police didn't just enforce rules, they made people comply instantly, and if you refused, it was punished on the spot. To influence what people see, think, and believe, propaganda was the tool of the time. Additionally, financial assets and networks were leveraged to secure the power structures and keep them shielded from anyone who might pose a threat. Presidents, kings, prime ministers. These are the people we think of as most powerful. One signature can shape a nation, unite millions, or start a war. Why do we even need world leaders? To guide large groups or entire countries, you need both control and transparency. Public figures give the illusion of accountability if things go wrong. Take the US president, a powerful position, yet real authority is shared. He commands the military, but only as long as it's funded. He can sign or veto laws, but Congress can impeach him. Being embedded in such complex structures comes at the cost of the ultimate individual power. But let's address the elephant in the room. the autonomous world leaders, those who shape the structures themselves. They don't bend to the rules, they define systems and consolidate power. People like Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping or Napoleon. Over the span of 20 years, Putin remained in power while 5 US presidents rotated through the Oval Office. Xi Jinping, on the other side, rules the world's second largest economy, commands the military directly and could remain in power for life. Napoleon established the First French Empire, conquering large parts of Europe. He was a military leader, a warfare genius. He enforced his power, putting numerous nations into submission. Even the most powerful leaders are temporary. When they fall, or even after their death, something far greater outlasts them. Because true power could never survive in the hands of a single ruler. If one entity controlled everything, the system would collapse the moment they disappeared. Real power endures because it's hard to kill. It lives in networks and synergy, systems bigger than any individual. They attract the right players, power-hungry individuals who push the system forward. Each one adds fuel. That's what makes elite power self-sustaining. In a second, we'll show you a real-world example that makes this crystal clear. The underlying principles, demand, capital, data, influence, can't be destroyed. Before his political rise, J.D. Vance worked as a venture capitalist at Mithril Capital. In 2022, his Senate campaign was fueled by $15 million, the kind of money that can shift an election. It was the largest privately funded Senate campaign in US history. Two worlds of power, tech and politics, linked by one man, Peter Thiel. He also contributed $1.25 million to Trump's 2016 campaign. The Silicon Valley billionaire and PayPal founder has a track record of placing people from his network into positions of influence. Several government officials have worked with or for one of Thiel's companies, usually his data mining giant Palantir. Much of Thiel's business relies on government contracts. By placing Vance and others into politics, he amplifies his influence even more. And just recently, playing the system paid off big time. Thiel's company Palantir secured a $10 billion contract with the US Army over the next decade, consolidating 75 contracts into one mega deal. Most of this leverage is invisible: infrastructure, data, military systems. Thiel doesn't just play the game, he builds the board everyone else plays on. Level 6 isn't about him, but he perfectly illustrates the power of synergies. By placing allies in power, funding campaigns and linking wealth with technology, he channels capital, talent and networks into the system, making it stronger, more resilient and self-sustaining. Frank Abagnale played the system as a con artist, fooling people with appearances. Peter Thiel plays it as an architect, leveraging the system at global scale. From Abagnale to Thiel, the lesson is clear. Power isn't owned by individuals, it flows through systems. Those who understand both the rules and the channels can shape it.